Hey there guys, how are you today and welcome to a brand new video on my channel. Today reviewing my F1 Fantasy League results for the German Grand Prix. Crazy race it was, and let's have a reminder of the race results. So, Max Verstappen took victory in what was a crazy race, whilst Ferrari home driver Sebastian Vettel came from last place on the grid to finish in P2. Kvyat was a shock P3, Stroll another shock P4, Sainz in 5th, Albon in 6th, Grosjean and Magnussen 7th and 8th, Hamilton only in 9th despite starting on pole position, and Robbie Kubica getting the first point in his comeback and Williams' first point of the season in P10. We then have Russell, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi and Gasly, who finished last of the runners. And in not classified we have Bottas, Hulkenberg, Leclerc, Norris, Ricciardo and Perez, who all struggled in the difficult conditions. So let's have a look at the Fantasy League. So starting with me, as I'm right at the bottom here on 1,160 points. I had a terrible weekend here, only scoring 14 points, with Hamilton, Gasly, Ricciardo, Raikkonen, Norris. So we know Hamilton got pole position, so a good start for me there, but he had a bit of a disaster of the race. He spun a couple of times, he broke his front wing, poor pit stop, and he only just scored some points. Gasly had a poor race, last of the runners, and therefore only gets 2 points. Ricciardo failed to finish, as did Norris, and Raikkonen didn't manage anything particularly special either, only finishing, as you can see here, in P12. Moving on, we go to Robbie, who's on 1,351 points and scored a fairly impressive 103 points for the weekend. He had Leclerc, which obviously a poor position, poor decision considering he crashed, but unlucky there. He had Verstappen, who obviously did brilliantly with 50 points. Raikkonen, who, as a turbo driver, scored 10 points. You had Norris, who obviously let a lot of people down this weekend, and Albon, who scored some good points in real life and on Fantasy League with 20 points. And Red Bull as a team, well, I guess it was mixed fortunes. Great day for Verstappen, poor for Pierre Gasly. Then have Laurie on 1,445 points, and he got 107 this weekend, and he went for Ricciardo, Sainz, Kvyat, Raikkonen and Hamilton, Mercedes as a team. So I guess anyone who's trusted Kvyat in this time has really been paid off big time in Germany, with Kvyat on the podium amazingly. Sainz also had a very strong weekend, 54 points on here, P5 in the race, pretty good, despite a small incident at the start of the race, obviously maybe cost him his podium. Ricciardo we know failed to finish, and it was not the best weekend for Raikkonen or Hamilton, or Mercedes as a whole, with Bottas crashing out and Hamilton only scoring a couple of points. Then go to Thomas F1, who's on 1,470 points, and he got 145 for the weekend, so that's pretty impressive. And he went for Bottas, who we know crashed. He had Verstappen, Norris, Sainz and Hamilton, but Toro Rosso as a team, and that is where you have scored so many points this weekend. You know, that is really super impressive. 48 points, that is a really good pick. And normally Toro Rosso would only score maybe 10 or 15 points on here, but 48 points, that has really helped you this weekend. We then go to P2, which is Kyle on 1,528 points. And he went for Sainz as turbo driver, Grosjean, Kvyat, Verstappen and Bottas with Ferrari as a team. So I think coming out the weekend, one of the talking points is the relationship between Roman Grosjean and Kevin Magnussen, but despite that, they both got good points finishes, and Grosjean's got good points here on the Fantasy League game. And we know it was a good weekend for Sainz, Kvyat, and obviously our race winner Max Verstappen. And as for Ferrari, it was a good weekend for Vettel in the end, coming P2, but a difficult day for Charles Leclerc, with some people now questioning his ability when really under pressure. And finally, we're going to go to Nicole, who's on 1,545 points. He scored 75 points this weekend, so not brilliant, to be honest. And you went for Raikkonen, Norris, Sainz, Gasly, and Bottas with Ferrari as a team. So we know Raikkonen didn't get any points in the race. Norris crashed out, but Sainz had a strong day and a difficult day for Pierre Gasly and Valtteri Bottas. And then Ferrari really had mixed fortunes, and therefore you only scored 75 points. So there you go, guys. That was my fantasy league for German Grand Prix, and you can see the results here. So I was very much last place for the weekend, while Kyle won the weekend. So congratulations to you there. But for now, I will see you guys next time.